Today I'm talking about breaking the cycle of offense. Offense is a stumbling block. Offense gets in your way. Offense will try to stop you from your destination. We've been talking about this for 2 days, and today is the last day. We're going to break the cycle of offense. All right. So Colossians, we're going to go to Colossians 3 and 13. Colossians 3 and 13 says, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you all also must do. Right? So to break the cycle of the spirit of offense is to forgive quickly. Like, throw that down. Don't receive it. Right? Pause before reacting. Pause before reacting when someone is doing something against your standards or just against what your thoughts are. Pause before reacting. Check your perception. Sometimes our perception will cause us to see things in a way that we shouldn't. Good morning, Stephanie. Refuse to rehearse the thing that the person has done, right? Forgive quickly, even if it still hurts. Being offended is a stumbling block, all right? Not only do you forgive quickly, you also pray for them, okay? So breaking the cycle of offense is to forgive quickly. Now, when I was studying this for today, just now, God has given me the instructions to talk about pettiness, right? And I was like, okay, so I looked up the word petty, all right? And, some people could be like, well, I'm the queen of pettiness. I'm not, some people don't let things live down or they just don't give way to it. So being petty describes someone who acts small-minded, spiteful, or mean over trivial, unimportant matters. I'm reading from the computer. It involves overreacting to minor issues, holding unnecessary grudges, or being unnecessarily unkind, often to create drama or express resentment over inconsequential things. Okay? Examples of someone being petty is refusing to speak to a friend for days because they didn't like your social media post. I'm reading from the computer. Vindictive actions, deliberately giving a neighbor the wrong directions because they complained about your music. Dang. Focusing on trivial details. Nagging a partner endlessly about how they loaded the dishwasher rather than thanking them for doing it. Lack of accountability. Blaming someone else for your own bad mood over minor inconvenience. Synonyms of petty is small-minded, mean-spirited, spiteful, trivial, narrow-minded. Someone acting in petty way often ignores the bigger picture. Hey, Mama Tracy. Ignores the bigger picture, choosing instead to focus on minor annoyances to the detriment of relationships. Okay? So I'm not a petty person. I don't like it. I can hold a grudge. I have held a grudge. But yeah, no, I can't be petty. I don't like that. I don't like when people do it to me. I don't like that. But people do it, right? But grudges have no place in a Christian's life, for they may lead to sins that's mentioned in Colossians chapter 3, verses 8 and 9. So holding grudges will lead you to sin. It will lead you to error. Okay? How believers respond is critical. Anytime someone wrongs us, or whatever it is, God is always looking for how we're reacting and how we are responding to things. He does. So just be mindful when you are anything, whether people see you or not. Be mindful that God is always watching us. You know, are we acting as if, God is our daddy for real, or no? Ephesians 5 and 2 says, and walk in love as Christ also have loved us and given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling aroma. John 15:13 says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for his friends. Now that didn't necessarily mean that we die for our friends physically, but even spiritually and emotionally. Sometimes when we feel like we have been wronged, or somebody has offended us on purpose or not intentional, to lay down your life for a friend is to know that, especially if it's not a habitual thing, if it's not continuously they doing the same thing over and over, like, you could lay that thing down instead of holding on to something that is trivial or not intentional. It just makes sense, right? So live in unity, holiness, and in love. And in love. 1 John 3 and 16 says, by this we know love, because he laid down his life for us. And we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren, for our brothers and our sisters. So, and this is going to tie into my prophetic message for today. And I'm praying that I don't start shedding tears. So I know this is a real quick message, because I really did not want to get on at all today, but God is making me finish what he has started. So I had to finish the breaking the cycle of offense, because how can we continue on living with brothers and sisters if we're holding on to offense? We're not forgiving people. We're not releasing people by, having stumbling blocks. Stumbling block is offense. Stumbling blocks in your way. Like, you're literally getting in your way, holding on to things that you could have easily forgiven. Get out your own way. Release these people. Now, anytime that I bring up a message, you have to work on it, because if the AI summary says a pastor shares advice on breaking the cycle of offense, ask for a prayer. Okay, AI. But anytime that, thank you for the hurt me. Anytime that I bring to you all's attention something that I'm teaching, you best believe that the same teaching comes for me also. So it's not like I've mastered this or that I am perfect in this. No, this is something that I have going through, processing through, right? Wow. Wow. That is wow. That's confirmation. My pastor is starting a series on the spirit of offense next week. That is confirmation. That tells you right there. I am definitely in the spirit realm. I'm in the spirit realm. This is not a topic that I chose to speak on. It's not. He literally took me from where I was to over here. And I know why he's doing it. And I'm gonna tell you prophetically why God is doing this. Okay, so you guys know last year my children lost their dad. And see, it was some petty stuff that went on, with the relationships that he had with people, with some petty stuff going on. But when a person passes away, that petty stuff don't even matter no more. You don't even think about those small trivial things. You don't even think about how that person got on your nerves. You don't even think about how that person is flawed and weak. Now they're gone. They are gone, right? So it's like if you are a person who hold grudges, don't forgive people easily, you're holding on. If you're holding on to what someone has done, like you're holding on to it with your hands, guess what? Because of you holding on, you're not able to receive nothing else. Let go. See how my hands are open now? I can receive now. Thank you for the stickers. Because I let go, my hands are open to receive now. That's why unforgiveness is a stumbling block. It gets in the way of your blessings. It gets in the way of the promises of God that he has for you because you're holding on to people who did you wrong. Knowingly and unknowingly. Let them go. So your life could be blessed. Stop being petty. Because if something happened to them today or tomorrow, Lord forbids, you're going to feel some type of way. Forgiveness is not a weakness. It's actually a strength. It's actually spiritual authority. It's hard to offend someone that stand in who they are. Okay? So this is the news.